All right, this is gonna be part 2. These are the pork barbecue burnt ends I'm making with Berkshire pork belly. So everything's been cut up. Look at these beautiful. These are gonna be pork belly steaks. They're gonna get set off to the side. They're gonna get smoked separately. They're just big, thick slabs of pork belly. So these are the cubes I cut up already of the pork belly. I'm gonna throw a whole bunch of them in here and season them up. You can see what I'll season them with. So it's just gonna be a real easy season. I'm gonna do salt, kosher salt, black pepper, and just a little bit of brown sugar so they get some good caramelization going on them. Get only about half of these in here. I got a couple racks I'm going to have full of these, so I'm not going to do them all at one time. I'm going to make a couple different flavors, I believe. I think I'm going to do a hot one. So let's see. Like I said, it's salt, pepper, and a little brown sugar. With pork, lots of salt. Don't be afraid of salt. That really brings out the flavor in pork. So there's some salt. Get a little brown sugar in here. Like I said, it doesn't need to be a lot because Carol doesn't want the sugar, but a little bit of it, it gives it some real good color. And then we're going to put some black pepper. Get my hand covered up here. I like a nice big coarse pepper. Get a bunch of it in here, then we'll roll it all around, get it all together, season up good. So then we're just going to mix this up good, and then we're going to put it on these wire racks here. Looks like I need a little more here. A little more brown sugar, a little more salt. Okay, so there we go with that. Let's get a rack over here, and I'm going to put some of these on a rack so you can see. Actually, I'll just put this rack right here on top of this pork belly. So don't get too crazy trying to stack them on the rack because they're just going to fall over. What I like to do is actually put them in the little valleys. So it actually sits like that. It'll be actually a lot easier if you do that. Otherwise, they're always trying to fall over. Now, make sure you keep good spacing in between these so they've got smoke and cooking all around it. Now, if you get real small ones like that, I'm going to put that on the other rack. This is going to be for the bigger ones and stuff. Or actually, yeah, actually I don't need to do that because I've got plenty for both of them. So but stack them in, like I said, into the little grooves. And you won't have to worry about them falling over like they're going to. So if they get too small, you may have to turn them sideways so they don't fall through the grate, because they will fall through if you're not careful. I'm going to need to move these over a row. I got to have enough room for a whole bunch more. I've got a lot of burnt ends I'm making. How you doing, Mama? My dogs are staring at me behind me here, or in front of me. Well, one of them is Mama. So this is Berkshire pork belly. This is gonna be so freaking amazing when it's done. I've made these never on the Traeger. This will be the first go on the Traeger, but you know what? I've gotten pretty darn good on that Traeger. So I've got pretty good confidence these are gonna be amazing. I have a couple big old racks of them. Alright, so there's one rack. Probably gonna just try and set over to the side here. And I'm gonna throw this stuff in here. I haven't decided how I'm going to season these yet. I'm not going to put brown sugar on it. I know I'm going to make these more like just like a pork belly chop. Probably just salt and pepper. Alright. So again, same thing. Lots of salt. Salt's a pork's best friend. A lot of this will render off as it's cooking, so don't be too afraid of salt. It's really good. It brings out the flavoring. So a little bit of black pepper, and then I'm going for brown sugar. I mean, black pepper. So that's what I got going here. I'm just going to mix it together. Make sure it gets coated on all sides. And put a few more on here. And the rest I will probably put onto the other rack. Okay, that rack's about full. We got one more rack. I'm just going to sit right on top of those. Let's see. I'm really debating putting some cayenne pepper in this. Well, no, I can always put it on after. I don't want to ruin it for the girls. Alright, so again, we're just going to put all these in the grooves. They're going to slip through the grooves and stuff, so. This is some beautiful Berkshire pork belly. It's going to be some of the best pork in the world. Okay, so there's all of that. Get this out of the way. So now I just have these beauties right here. Look at those. That's beautiful. Nice marbled red pork. I'm not going to put any sugar on these because we're going to eat these a little differently. So I'm just gonna stand them up. I want to get all kinds of nice salt and stuff on here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my knife and I'm going to put a little bit of slices in here so the salt will work into the fat a little bit. And what that does is it adds a little bit of crispy edge around all of the fat when it renders. And it puts some amazing flavors. So here, I'm just, I don't know if you can see, I'm just slicing in maybe not even a 1/4 inch. Some places, I mean, it's just going in an 1/8. Some places 1/4. It's kind of hard to judge. Sharp knife and cold pork if you can. So there we go. Has all kinds of nice little cuts in it. This is going to get some beautiful texture when it starts to cook, or actually not when it starts, but when it's finished cooking. Look at how soft this fat is. It's just rendering down. Gonna just heavily salt this fat cap. When I say heavy, I mean heavy. And then I'm going to rub it into all those nooks and crannies. You may think I'm crazy, but I love salt. And as I mentioned earlier, that a lot of this will drip off and stuff as it's cooking. So it's not all going to stay there. So that's beautiful. I'm going to get a little bit of cracked black pepper on it. Nice. So just lightly pat that on there so it sticks. I'm going to turn them over and start to season them that way. And put them closer together so I don't make so much of a mess. Just, again, lots of salt and pepper. Not lots of salt and not a lot of pepper. Not so much on the side, on the lean. The fat, I like it a lot saltier. Okay. Now some black pepper on the beautiful Berkshire pork. So these are going to go on the smoker until they're, I don't know if I'm going to finish them on the Traeger or if I'm going to just put a little smoke flavor and then finish them in a pan. I haven't decided that yet. Either way though, guaranteed to be delicious. So we're going to put them close together again so I don't make too much of a mess. So I don't know if you noticed, but I always have a gloved hand and a ungloved hand. The gloved hand is for any of the meat, or if I do poultry or fish or anything, that's always going to be my dirty hand. And my knife hand that doesn't ever touch any of that stuff will be ungloved, so my knife stays nice and clean on the handles and I can grab other stuff. It's always a good thing to have a dirty and a clean hand. So, like on this, I just would put a napkin around it so it doesn't get anything on that, and it's just on the napkin. This is beautiful Berkshire pork. Best pork in the world. I'm going to do one more flip here on this side. You want to get all sides. Don't leave anything unsalted. Okay, one more with cracked black pepper. Cool, and that is it. Just a little pat on it. And we are going to, let's see, I'm going to put the biggest one on the outside, I think, and probably put the fat out. I think that'll get the most heat from the Traeger, as long as the outside edge on this. Let's see, I'll put that one right there. And one more big ass thick pork belly steak, I guess. Alright, so I can take my glove off, I believe. I'm going to go get my Traeger open and get these guys going. Watch out, Mama.